A very good morning and a warm welcome to one and all present over here, teachers. Thank you so much for joining on another Super Sunday workshop. And this time we are touching 108th session and a very important topic, a topic known as Continuous Professional Development Program exclusively for teachers. Since the time national education policy or the new education policy came into picture, one important area of emphasis was always towards teacher professional development programs. I still remember the days when even now, in fact, why to go to the history? Even now, the teachers come up with viewpoints saying that back in those days, my teacher used to be like this. आजकल के teachers, they're not really good. Something more from comparative study of an experienced teachers. Currently, when we talk about teachers, the leaders, when we exclusively talk to the school leaders on how are the teachers doing in the school, again there's a concern shown by the school leader saying that we're not really getting a good hand for maths or physics or social. It used to be quite a point of discussion back in those days, but not as common as it is presently present right now, because not many people are opting for B.Ed or becoming a teacher for that matter. And everything boils down to one important point stating that the pay is really less here. Now, when we really talk about a teacher's life, from the perspective of exhaustion that they get into, the hard work that they put into, and how it's really getting converted in the form of benefits, especially in a country like India, still it's a point of debate to talk about lot of aspects of advices. People can come and say a teacher has to be like this, a teacher has to be like that, but are they really equipped with the right infrastructure, which includes the pay scale as well, to really matter to or cater to the development out there? So to talk about this particular aspect, NEP clearly mentioned that irrespective of the position that a principal or an HM or a teacher holds in a particular school, it's important for them to regularly get upskilled or upgraded, most importantly updated as well. Now when we talk about certain categories, most of the teachers life revolve around curriculum, pedagogy and assessment. But the pandemic made people realize that it's just not curriculum, pedagogy and assessment. Equally, technology is also really important, or the platforms on which these communications happen are really important. So end of the day, it's like a huge responsibility given to the teachers, and the teachers knowingly they join and they're like, I want to take this up. The role of a teacher in a country is directly relational to the development of the nation. So this is something that Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam used to quite mention a lot of times, and we're going to talk about that as well to quite some extent. So first of all, I would like to thank all the teachers who've been extremely diligent and joining the sessions quite regularly for the last 2.5 years approximately. And every Sunday, waking up to 10 o'clock to learn something new is not an easy task. It really requires a lot of effort. So thank you so much for that. And every Sunday we have been giving the certificates so that it can be accounted for mandatory CPD hours. That's what we're going to talk about today in detail. Remember, this mandatory CPD hours certificate that we issue is completely as per the jurisdiction of the principal. If they approve it, then it is accounted for 25 hours. If they don't, then it is not. So I would like to humbly request all the teachers out there to go back to your principals and say that these sessions are worth it. These sessions are really good and they're definitely helping me in upskilling myself. If at all they are doing, then go and tell the principal. Yeah, that's something that you need to tell so that these certificates can be accounted for the mandatory CPD hours. That's point number one. Let's quickly get into the session today, teachers. An important and a quite a beautiful, decluttering of a latest circular on CBSE related to continuous professional development. Let me quickly, share my screen and talk about it in few seconds. I think you'll be able to see the screen. Yes, by the way, happy Baisakhi to one and all the Sikh friends out there. Happy Vishu. I think it's the Malayalam new calendar, Kerala people, right? This is actually the time of harvest, and a lot of people are getting into New Year celebration, which is completely related to agriculture in India, primary business. Yeah. Happy Tamil New Year, which is April 14th, that's tomorrow. Happy Bihu. And there are a lot of the names actually, and I couldn't really put it on one slide. So thank you so much for joining from various parts of the country and few other countries as well. Happy Palm Sunday, in fact. Yeah, I know. Okay. That's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much, teachers. Let's quickly get on with the next part, the most important. Continuous professional development avenues for teacher. Today we'll get into not only about the CPD circular that CBC has released, but also get into the understanding how, as a teacher, I can develop myself. Remember one important aspect, teachers, very, very important. Today's Sundar Pichai was actually a student of one of the teachers in the past. Today's Parag Agarwal was one of the students of one of the teachers out there. May it be Shreya Ghoshal or may it be, Surya Kumar Yadav, may it be MS Dhoni for that matter. All the great personalities that we call great were students for some teachers back in there. So today, when you're looking at 40 children in front of you, you might think that so and so child is going to become really good in life, or so and so child is not going to perform well in life. You'll be having unexpected surprises. People do become good in multiple formats of life. It's very important for a teacher to be really broad minded and take this responsibility wholeheartedly. Why am I talking about this right in the beginning? It's because of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Please watch this video, teachers, an important one. A small eye opener for an inspiration to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam by his teacher. I think you know what I'm talking about.
When I was a young boy, 10 years boy, wartime, the Second World War going on. At that time, I used to see in my class, fifth class teacher, in science teacher, his name is Sivasubramania Iyer. He entered the classroom and we used to see the radiation of knowledge from him. Radiation of knowledge from him. When he enters the classroom, my teacher, I see radiation of purity of life. And the way he taught, my dream got shaped. What should be my way of life? He is the person, the teacher gave me the vision of my life when I was a young fellow. Now teacher has got a fantastic opportunity to grow minds, to enrich the minds, and give the dreams to the young people and nurture the dreams with them, and they will become great human.
And they'll become great human beings. That's absolutely right. So when you look at education system and when you don't talk about Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, it's definitely an incomplete session. And a teacher, when he actually came inside the class, he used to radiate knowledge, radiate purity of life. Look at the words, look at the choice of words a student is choosing to describe his teacher. And we know the great student out there. So just imagine the kind of position we hold into. Now let me talk about CPD and the mandatory training hours. I think it'll put some perspective, and we are in a position to listen to this right now. So an important area of discussion is basically the teacher training program in India. It has been quite a journey since independence, and not many developments had happened in the early stages of teacher development program. For example, in 1952-53, right after independence, for the first time, in-service training programs used to happen for government schools. Even the council was just about to get formed at this particular time. So even ICC teachers, if you're there, this is the time when Secondary Education Commission was launched. Right after that, the Education Commission, which got formulated properly, it happened in 1966, where the school complexes got formed. Sahodaya complex sort of a thing, where multiple schools joined together and they started collaborating with each other in the form of an association for teacher development program. And they used to have something called as RPs, resource person, and then central RP used to be there. Even now, the same hierarchy is getting followed. You need to know about more of this, then please go to this website called as ZIET, Zonal Institute of Education and Training, an exclusive body for teacher professional development training program for Kendriya Vidyalaya school teachers. You should know about it. You'll see a lot of topics over there. And today in circular also they've mentioned all these things. Next is National Policy for Education in 1986 got formulated, where they emphasized on the central teacher training education or central teachers education, something like that. CT, I forgot the abbreviation of it. Then diet came into picture. This is the time when primary education got a lot of importance. That's where DPEP in mid 90s came into picture, training for primary and elementary teachers under universalization of education, universalization of elementary education. Basically, they wanted to understand the child growth is not dependent on region or topography. It's something where the mindset is cultivated, and this is very important to have common syllabus across the country. Kindergarten coming into picture around 90s. Then coming Sarva Siksha Abhiyan 2001, training of teacher decentralized at Block Resource Center. CRC's mass orientation of teachers on NCF 2005 happened through the satellite called as EduSat. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam played an important role in EduSat, education satellite. That's why it's called as EduSat. Right after that, in 2009, RMSA, in service training for teachers in science and mathematics. And right after that, Samagra Siksha, which is continuing even now. Under Samagra Siksha, which is right to education, there are multiple other bodies coming into picture and everything is getting categorized. One of them is called as Nishtha. Actually, Nishtha is, I think, National Institute for School Holistic Teachers Advancement, something like that. So you need to get into it. So all these are Hindi words, but they will have an abbreviation in English. Similarly, Nipun Bharat for that matter. If you can put it on the chat, it'll be great. And under that, they had something called as 50 hours of CPD for teachers, head teachers, and teacher educators, flexible and blended mode. And they came up with avenues to do all these training programs. So somewhere it becomes mandatory for all of us to get into these trainings. Yeah. It's not anymore optional because India realized, the government system, the medical Ministry of Education realized, until and unless we don't guide the teachers, how will they even know about it? That's how mandatory CPDRs came into picture. When we really talk about mandatory CPDRs, we need to get into this paper or this particular document called as Guidelines for 50 Hours of Continuous Professional Development for Teachers, Head Teachers, and Teacher Educators. I would like to pause over here for a few seconds and quickly talk about something very, very important. The moment the new education policy 2020 came into picture, Dr. Kasturi Rangan said with his national steering committee, a committee was formed to say that this time, unlike last time, we should not have only one national curriculum framework, which used to be NCF 2005, mentioning everything. This time, we need to really categorize things. Then the categorization happened, and they called this to be national curriculum framework under four areas. The first areas was national curriculum framework foundational stage. I think most of you know about it, which talks till grade 2 or grade 3 actually. Next comes national curriculum framework for school education, which talks till 12th standard. Now how should the system be? They should have curricular goals, do board exams, whatnot. Everything is mentioned in national curriculum framework school education. The third area is national curriculum framework for adult education, the graduation, the post graduation, the rules and the credits associated with that. All these things were discussed in National Curriculum Framework, Adult Education, calling it as AE. Finally, the most important National Curriculum Framework, Teacher Education, the TE. Now, the fourth document, National Curriculum Framework TE, also talks about something very important called as National Professional Standards for Teachers, NPST, National Professional Standards for Teachers. As per our Indian education system, it is expected that all the teachers who are teachers in India at least, or undergoing or doing the teaching in CBSE syllabus, at least even abroad, should follow certain guidelines. And these guidelines clearly prescribed, so and so teacher should have so and so quality. And this came under National Professional Standards for Teachers. I would like to quickly play one introduction video of National Professional Standards for Teachers to quickly give you an idea what exactly it is all about. That will give you a perspective on what NPST is all about. We're all right now setting the context for our actual circular on CPD. But please watch this. You'll get a very good picture. For that, I would like to play the video by National Council for Teacher Education in 3, 2, 1.
Teaching is considered one of the noblest professions globally and is associated with social progress. With the evolution in the education system and the changing role of teachers, enhancing teacher quality becomes of utmost importance for long-term and sustainable nation building. National Education Policy 2020 puts the teacher at the center of the fundamental reforms in the education system in India. It is a well established fact that education is a lifelong process, and the teacher is the most important factor in each citizen's learning journey. The National Professional Standards for Teachers (NPST) sets out to NEP 2020 that aims for equitable access to the highest quality education for all learners. NPST ensures that all students at all levels of school education are taught by passionate, motivated, highly qualified, professionally trained, and well equipped teachers. Through several discussions and revisions done by the expert committee, a preliminary draft of NPST was developed and released for public review, followed by 15 open house discussions and 5 in house consultations that were held across the country.
The National Council for Teacher Education looks after the development, the coordination of teacher education throughout the country.
An investment in teachers is an investment in students. The professional standards for teachers would cover expectations and the competencies required from a teacher at different levels of expertise and or experience at various stages of career. Currently, NCTE is working towards accomplishing this target of successful completion of the NPST pilot study.
So that's by National Council for Teacher Education, and they've been working on preparing the national professional standards. Now, when we talked about the teacher's life revolves around three areas of curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment. These professional standards also, get into these three areas and clearly mention the expectations of how a teacher should be in a particular school. And this is actually present in NPST book. There's something called as NPST book, which we'll show a little bit, and we'll have a detailed Super Sunday workshop on what exactly is national professional standards for teachers. But this particular video was right now very important for us, because to understand the latest circular about the CPDRs, it's imperative that we get into this particular video. Now, this is another context that we need to understand. But right now, let me show you another important area, and this is how it would look like. I'll show you something. Actually, when we talked about NEP, and even NPST for that matter. In both the cases, they mention about a teacher's upskilling and upgradation happens under certain areas. But from methodology point of view, from implementation point of view, how can a teacher really upskill themselves? Look at this, you will definitely like it. Look at this, you'll definitely like it. So the first one is, the first activity is viewing someone else's teaching, either live or video recorded. Just imagine a teacher is newly appointed in a school and would like to start conducting the classes. If the leader's job is to prepare this teacher or develop this teacher under professional development category, whatever it is, the first job ideally should be this particular teacher should go and sit in a classroom observation mode of an experienced teacher, a teacher who is already there in that school for quite some time, probably 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, or 5 years. It's up to the leader's choice. And the teacher can look at the other teacher and learn from it. Now it's very important. When I say experience, this doesn't really mean they need to be really experienced from years point of view as well. I mean, these days I have seen some schools wherein there is a young teacher who is actually teaching in the class, and there are experienced teachers who are actually there in the classroom observation mode and learning from the young teacher. So what has happened right now is, just with the advent of technology, uh, the experience doesn't really matter when it comes to pedagogy. Because what if this young teacher is coming up with a new methodology of teaching using the digital boards, which I'm not aware about because I'm not so tech savvy, something like that. So in this particular case, it's all about the first activities, viewing someone else's teaching, either live or video recorded. A very good point. You learn something from it. The second mode of learning on how to teach would be directly getting on into the class. It's like you're not really looking at anyone, you're directly getting on into the class and you're performing something. Now, during the performance of your class, the way you speak, you'll be able to get some responses from the students. Depending on the way the children are responding, you modulate your classes. Now, this is the place where you learn from your own mistakes. It's like the second activity suggests is the teacher making pedagogic decisions in the classroom in light of what happens and how he or she perceived it at that particular time. When you come back out of the classroom, you will exactly know. Nobody else has to come and give you the feedback. You yourself will completely definitely know, was this class really effective? Did I really do a good job? Sort of talks. Basically, it's like you question yourself. If you're really happy about that particular class, no change. But the moment you're able to identify, I think at this particular point, right at the beginning of the session, I could have done this better. That's the self reflection that we're looking into. That is the second way of learning. Prabhu also says in 2012, the third activity is the teachers communicating of their current knowledge to another person. Now, this is not about giving advice to someone. It is also about taking advice. It's like I come to one of you and I say that, Nisha ma'am, I am doing so and so method. I'm trying to perform like this in the class. Do you suggest me I'm doing the right thing? Now Nisha will be like, no, Vasu, don't do like this. Do like this. It'll be better because you've got such kind of children also in the class. Now this discussion, generally is I would say symbiotic in nature. Both get benefited from each other. The only catch is such discussions are very serious when it is the first time or second time or third time. Fourth time onwards, it will start with, ma'am, what did you bring for lunch today? Then right after that, it'll begin, shall we have lunch together? And the next, it'll be like, you bring the roti, I'll bring the dal. Something like that. And then you forget about why did you even start talking to each other. Hence, it's important for making the choice of, talking to all the teachers rather than just one teacher. I hope you're able to understand what I'm saying. This was one of the statements made by a school leader, so I thought it's practically happening. That's the third activity. The fourth, which I really like and I really prefer sometimes, is basically the fourth activity of teacher interacting with explicit pedagogical perception of specialist. For example, it is all about this method, inductive method, is really good. Who said that? Bloom told it. Mastery of learning is more important for competency based education. Who said that? Benjamin Bloom said it. Or Piaget said it. There are multiple personalities out there who have their own theories, which are documented probably in your B.Ed or somewhere on the internet, which you find to be quite attractive and you think that that's the right methodology. So the fourth area is the place where you don't really follow anyone else. You don't follow yourself. You actually got into the pedagogical write-ups that are already written by educationists out there or educators out there, or specialized people in the field of education, and they say you do this and you do that. That's the fourth activity. Now it's important for the leaders to make sure that the teachers undergo all these four things regularly in an academic year. I'll quickly repeat. The first one is viewing someone else teaching. The second one is you directly go to the class and start teaching and you change yourself. The third is start discussing about your methodologies with each other so that there is a mutual development. And the fourth is follow the previous pedagogical strategies written by great leaders out there in the past. I hope you're able to understand the fourth one. Okay, yeah, then only it can happen. And that's why, in fact, if I have to put one perspective in this Super Sunday session today, the fourth activity, the point number four, apart from if it's happening in the school, it's great. If it's not, then Super Sunday workshop will help you in that. Because in this particular workshop, we don't really talk about opinions and perceptions. We talk about documents. We talk about what's already present by leaders out there, and we just expand it. Yeah, today it's all about national professional standards for teachers. So there's a document existing. So based on that, let me perform something. So that's ultimately the point. Anyways, let's go for the next one. The last, basically before setting the context. This is very interesting. I really was surprised actually. What other countries do for continuous professional development for teachers? Look at this. You're all going to be very happy. The first one is Sweden. CPD program named as Lifting the Teachers, where 104 hours or 15 days per year are invested on professional development of the teachers. Here we have just 50 hours. We have, you should definitely feel happy about it. Look at Singapore, 100 hours for professional development, where currently teachers are trained to use action research project in the classroom. Whatever they've learned, they need to prove that. We'll have a separate, session on action research as well, teachers. Just you can make a note of it in case if you want to. It's a very good terminology. What's Australia doing? The main focus of Australian national project is teachers professional development, and state and territory project focus on teaching standards. That's what even India is doing right now, conducting research and communicating research findings. Next is South Korea. I really like that part as well. Okay, one second. Did somebody by mistake give your phone to your daughter or son? No. Yes. Okay. We've done that. We have done that. And we've done that. Great. South Korea teachers need to complete 90 hours of professional development after 4-year completion of their initial teaching phase. 4 साल के बाद, after 4 years, 180 hours of professional training needed for their next eligibility for promotion. So promotion they got and clubbed it with training. Nice, na? How about here we do the same thing? I undergo, say, 200 hours of training and you become the coordinator of the school. Or you become like 400 hours of training, you become the vice principal. 800 hours of training, you become the principal. How about that? No, it is not just not about the timing teachers, it's also about the topics chosen, area of expertise, and lot more. Finland follows a decentralized system where respective topographical area, already that country is small, still they prioritize training program to happen within a certain region. Next is Indonesia. Professional development of teachers is primarily based on ESD goals. Then New Zealand, CPD program is mandatory and 20% time is given for the first year teachers and 10% time is given to the second year teachers. Switzerland, induction program is mandatory and focus on preparing teacher as a reflective practitioner through collaborative approach. So these are some of the things with respect to the CPDRs across various countries. Now, when you come back to India, this is the circular that they talk about. The circular states that Continuous Professional Development Guidelines 2025, a very important point and the most important point of the session right now. On 1st April, in this notification under the training department, this was mentioned, and oh, last year 87, that's a huge number. Okay, so where they actually mentioned about how the training standards are divided. Earlier, last 2 academic years, the teachers used to be like 25 hours by CBSE, 25 hours by school internal training program. But the topics were not really mentioned in detail. But now they're very clearly mentioned. Why? Because National Professional Standards for Teachers is already ready. So how is this actually made? Let me quickly show you in the form of a proper PDF document, which will give you a good perspective. See this. So National Professional Standards for Teachers, will go through this document in few minutes, but let's first go through the circular. So this is the circular and please watch this. Now, what they're saying is reference is invited to the affiliation notification issued in respect of 25 hours of CPD earmarked through CBSE, government regional training institutes, and remaining 25 hours by school through in-house or with school complexes. I'll repeat it. This particular point, 50 hours, is divided into two parts. One is completely through government organizations, including CBSE, NCRT, ZIETs, CIETs, whatever it is, it's completely from government. It's definitely from CBSE. Just imagine that. And right after that, the second 25 hours can be done by a school in-house or under Sahodaya complexes. Generally, private schools will have their association, and then they do these workshops. I've conducted some of the workshops for various Sahodayas, and all the principals and teachers come to a location. Generally, one of the school is a host, and the teachers from various other schools travel over there. So the remaining 25 hours have to be completed from that. But last time when this circular was came like was in implementation model, many people did not really choose the right topics. It was like one of the training session used to be inclusive education for 25 hours and completely over. Another education is how to communicate very well with fellow teachers, and that was for 25 hours and that's completed. So it was not really prescriptive, though they had mentioned about it in the guidelines for 50 hours of CPD. There was not a clear instruction on how much time are we supposed to allocate for each and every topic. In this particular circular, they've done that. Let's go through the circular. You'll get a good picture. 25 hours by CBSE as per notification, it's 6 hours offline. So what they've done is they have divided the standards or national professional standards. So यहाँ पे they have mentioned CPD efforts must be in the larger ambit of standards outlined in the National Professional Standards for Teachers (NPST) as well as the NCRT guidelines for CPD. And that is the reason they have given standards or domains as core values and ethics 12 hours, knowledge and practice 24 hours, professional growth and development 14 hours, total accounting to 50 hours. Now, this particular area, if you're able to look into it carefully, teachers, it is all about knowledge, skills, and attitude. You remember? See, knowledge and practice comes under knowledge. Professional growth and development, more of skills. Core values and ethics, more of an attitude. Right? End of the day, it's all about knowledge, skills, and attitude. Let me quickly show you the presentation to talk about national professional standards. See, professional standards for teachers. Okay, let me go to the next slide. Okay, here you'll be able to find it out. Under the second point, the domain's core values and ethics, knowledge and practice, professional growth and development. Under those areas, the circular has also come into picture. So if you have read the document of NPST, this particular circular will make sense. That's the reason we have been talking right from the beginning, including Abdul Kalam. So let us understand this. So core values and ethics, what are the topics? I'll read it. 6 hours offline, which is by CBSE, and 16 hours offline again by CBSE. The last 3 hours can be offline or online. And for each of these, they have given annexure 1, annexure 2, and annexure 3. And each of these annexures, they've got the topics under each domain. So core values and ethics, for 6 hours, they've given offline topics. And these offline training programs will happen probably in Center of Excellences, or probably at CBSE office, or probably they organize this in one of the schools. So it's like schools to register their teachers on the CBSE training portal, CBSE IT. 25 hours by school as per notification. So it is in-house training program. The core values and ethics here also they're giving 6 hours, but knowledge and practice they're giving only 8 hours. So they're saying that you come and learn about the knowledge and practice more from CBSE. Do not listen to others. Something like that. So that's where 8 hours. So 6 hours offline plus 2 hours offline or online. It can be by a school or group of schools on topics listed in annexure number 2. So annexure number 1 is core values and ethics. Annexure 2 is knowledge and practice. Interestingly, professional growth and development only 3 hours by CBSE, but 11 hours by school in-house training program, where they talk about some topics related to board examination evaluation that should be covered, marking scheme and question paper development that is also covered for 3 hours, research projects in classroom, mentoring or guiding fellow teachers, etc., that is for another 2 hours. Engaged as RP, so say for example you are becoming an examiner, and you have completed a certain duty assigned by the government of India, that will be accounted for your 6 hour CPD. I'll repeat this particular point. Suppose even if you do not complete your 25-hour CPD, but you have been an external examiner for a certain exam, and you went to another school as a, on duty, you get 6 hours of CPD. That's nice, no? Suppose you have been conducting the training program for some school. You've been selected as a CBSE resource person, and you have completed certain number of hours. 3 hours is excused for you again. Now that is again engaged as RP. So then again you have got integrating technology into the teaching. You're teaching and you're using augmented and virtual reality in the class. The principal is observing that 2 hours is extra completed over here. So it's just not about going to a certain program, going to a certain place for learning something under teacher training. It can also be a certain activity that a teacher can do. So these are all academically inclined developmental tasks. These are all CPDRs. So this itself will be accounting to quite a decent number of hours actually. So if you can do all these things, you're still. But however, it completely depends on a principal's jurisdiction. If they say that I cannot give you so much of hours under all these developmental tasks, you need to go and prepare, then we don't have a choice. Yeah, so you can see this, only 11 hours will be considered. Schools will keep records for verification. 11 hours in the sense, even if you complete such kind of developmental task for say 25 or 30 hours, it will not be considered. Only 11 hours will be effectively considered. Now let us quickly go to the topic names. The topic names, you will definitely like it. Annexure number 1, which was all about values and dispositions, core ethics, adolescent education program. They're giving the content for 12 hours. Ethics and integrity. Again, you have content for 12 hours. Though they have not put any PPT as such out there, it's the resource persons who have to develop the content. Gender sensitivity in schools, 1 day, 6 hours. Life skills advanced, life skills basic, both put together 12 hours. Promoting mental health and wellness, 6 hours. School health and wellness, 12 hours. And values education, 6 hours. So you can choose any of the training programs out there to complete 6 hours of training effectively. Why 6 hours? You remember? Let me go forward. Let me go forward. Sorry, go backward. You can see only core ethics and values is only for 6 hours. So even if you do all the training programs out there, 6 hours will not be considered. Only 6 hours will be considered, in fact. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the knowledge and practice. Annexure number 2, knowledge and practice. School libraries, active learning, art integration, competency-based assessment, critical and creative thinking, experiential learning, learning outcomes and pedagogies, storytelling as a pedagogy, strengthening assessment and evaluation practices. Look at the topic names. Then for biology, chemistry, environmental studies, physics, Python, Mathematics, science, all are subject specific. You also have a topic called as joyful mathematics. What exactly it is? Look into it. Then again, you have got competency based assessment or only for secondary level. Mathematics के लिए 2 days. Then again, you have for science for 2 days. Cyber safety and security, disaster management, use of artificial intelligence in the classroom, environmental education and conservation of natural resources, accountancy, business studies, economics, English core, geography, history, political science, psychology, Tamil, Hindi, English literature, competency based assessment again for English and social science, Kannada, Malayalam, Punjabi, physical education, Hindi B, Sanskrit, educating parents about education. Wow, that's annexure 2 not completed yet. Yeah, it's completed. Then comes Annexure 3, professional growth and development. You should know national curriculum framework for foundational stage in school education. Theory of knowledge. It's a very good topic. We're going to do that in the upcoming Super Sunday workshop in down the line in future. National education policy, happy classroom, stress management, classroom management, career guidance, induction training program, Guru Dakshata, leading transformation, academic oriented assignment. Evaluation of answer books of class 10 and 12 board examination counted for 6 CPD hours. That's domain number 3. So these are all the topics as per this particular circular, which got released on the 1st of April. It really took us some time to get into the details of these topics, how relevant are they, etc., etc. So that's the reason we didn't do it on the first Super Sunday itself. But yeah, this is applicable for language as well. Sometimes you might have to pay, Yasmin ma'am, but not all the time. Not all the time. Only very rarely, actually. In fact, most of the sessions are free of cost. And only catch is that whenever it's happening, it's like Tatkal train ticket booking. The moment it gets opened up, suddenly the seats are filled. So the principals have to be really spontaneous and spot on in getting the seats for your teachers. Yeah. So, anyways, these are the topics, teachers, and it's our duty in Super Sunday workshop to make sure the that we cover all these topics in one way or the other, so that you get an exposure and you have that prerequisite knowledge before getting into in-depth session with various people. Yeah, so that's with respect to the circular, teachers. Let's quickly get back to our presentation and complete what we intended for. So this is the circular that we were talking about. Professional standards for teachers speaks on importance of competency of a teacher under the areas of domains, which they said about core values and ethics, knowledge and practice, professional growth, and contributing to teacher profile. So you have got teacher profile as 3 areas. The first one is proficient, which is Praveen Shikshak. Second is advanced, Unnat Shikshak. And the third is expert. In fact, you will have a badge sort of a system. Are you proficient, advanced, or expert? Really important. So it's like, just imagine a school has got 3 categories of teachers. So now that's something to be I would say, reached out for. Yeah, somewhere I also believe it should not be. I do not know, it's my personal opinion. But anyways, let's quickly, all these accounting to your experience, exposure and interaction, and your continuous professional development. Whatever we spoke about, that's with respect to national professional standards for teachers. Let's go forward and understand. Under the areas of the ethics, the core ethics that we were talking about. Let me show you properly. Look at this. This will give you whatever pictures that I'm showing you right now is from the book. Constitutional values, professional ethics and values, commitment to students, professional relationships, commitment to profession, responsible and ethical use of technology. These are 6 areas of standards that comes under core values and ethics. That is the reason all the topics mentioned in Annexure 1 are related to this. Where is this from? This is from National Professional Standards for Teachers. Where is NPST from? National Curriculum Framework Teacher Education. Where is NCFTE from? It's from National Policy, National Education Policy, giving importance to teacher development. I hope you got the point, the hierarchy, how it is coming. Second domain, knowledge and practice. What areas? Knowledge and understanding of the subject area, most important. Factors that affect student learning, pedagogical knowledge, curriculum structures, technology use, and integration in education. You remember we told there are only 3 areas under which the teacher's life evolve or revolve: curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment. But right after the pandemic, technology played an important role. That's the reason technology component will be present in all the 3 domains. Coming to the last part, professional growth and development, professional development, learning needs, reflection, engagement, and participation in learning community. So this is with respect to this thing. So please visit the PDF page number 28 of NPST book. I would like to open that right now, teachers. So this is how NPST book would look like. Remember, we will get into the detailed session on National Professional Standards for Teachers very soon. And this is how it looks like. I hope you're able to see the screen. If not, you can see this. So these are the standards. Who is a proficient teacher, who is an advanced teacher, and an expert teacher. So core values and ethics may you have got constitutional values, professional relationships, interfacing with other professionals and organizations to initiate co-curricular opportunities for learners, ability to maintain mutual linkages between own school and other institutions and community for sharing resources. See how detailed they have written all these points. Recognizing, identifying, and fostering unique capabilities of each child. This is knowledge and practice. Anyways, we'll not get into details of this particular aspect right now. So this is less learning plans, learning goals and objectives. They don't write lesson plans, but it's related to that only. Classroom components and dynamics. All these are some of the fantastic topics, teachers. You should really go through this particular book called as NPST. And how is it implemented? के लिए भी they have given one very good guideline, but this is more from the perspective of, I would say, government schools. How they really integrate private schools, I do not know. Probably the Sahodya should come up with a mechanism. So 75 central government schools, like 25 Kendriya Vidyalayas and 25 Navodaya Vidyalaya, I guess, if I'm not wrong, then 25 CBSE schools with 1,175 teachers across the country. A pilot was done by National Center for Teacher Quality, NCTQ, and they found that it is quite effective. Based on that, this circular has come into picture. Now coming to the last part of our session, and now it is called as GT4U, Golden Tetrahedron Model. So what we do is, whenever as a super teacher training program, whenever we talk about super center workshops, or sometimes we go to the schools and also do the training program, we categorize our training under 4 areas, just like NPST: curriculum, pedagogy, assessment, and technology. We call this as understanding the curriculum, upgrading the assessment, upskilling the pedagogy, and utilizing the technology. And that's why we call this as golden tetrahedron for you model. Apart from this, there's one more domain called as soft skills, an equally important area where we talk about social and emotional learning, classroom management, happy classrooms, anger-free zones. All these things come under SCL. Oh, sorry, the fifth component called as soft skills. So you can divide your content in all these areas and learn, so that your NPST standards are also met at the right place. Plus, the mandatory CPDRs is also taken into consideration. Which are the areas that you can go or do the training? The first one is CBSE training portal. Let me quickly open that. Second is CIAT training portal. The third is Diksha, which most of you know, that digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing. Swayam portal, some of you might know about it. And NIPA and NCSL, both are exclusively for leaders. I'll show you. This is the CBSE IT website. I think most of you might know this. You can come register over here. On the top, you will have that option for the trainings and online forms, registration form for resource person, registration form for venue director, and even for training programs. So you can see this. Click here to register for online sessions. Click here to register for Prayog, only for principals. When I click on click here for register online, then it'll ask for free online sessions. When I click on it, no registration open. Why? Because everything is closed right now, or else there are no training programs available right now. Who knows? And even for the paid one, let me see if there are any training programs available right now. No, no trainings are happening right now. So you can just go to the CBSE website, the YouTube channel, and directly join live whenever live sessions are happening. Right after CBSE portal, you can get into capacity building program under Central Institute of Educational Technology. Most of the topics that these people give is based on technological component that are available by government of India for the teachers. That's why it's really, I really like it. You need to go to the initiatives. I think initiatives, no, activities. And under activities, you can see workshops and training. Click on this. You'll be able to see all the workshops of the past. Upcoming, nothing is happening right now. Current activities not happening, but these are the previous program. ICT for teaching and learning of science. Online training on integration of virtual labs in teaching learning phase 2. Online training on the Internet of Things, mobile devices and its safety. And they're doing it in English as well as Hindi. So you can join this as well. That is CIET. Right after CIET, you've got Swayam portal. Now Swayam is integrated with Diksha as well. So you can learn a lot of other topics, like you want to get into financial literacy, and as a teacher, you want to learn that. You can learn it. Skill subject teaching is also done under Swayam. So these are some of the platforms, and then you've got something called as NIPA. I will show this to you directly. The link is broken. National Institute of Educational Planning and Administration, exclusively for school leaders, the principals. And they have got online PSLM program on school leadership management. You should definitely click on it and get into it. It's a fantastic program for 30 hours. We are actually working on super school leadership program completely, or getting inspired from PSLM program for school leaders management. Yeah, it's like it's a very good course actually. Uh, since morning I'm trying to open this website, but it's kind of kind of heavy. I'm not sure why. Even the CBC website was not opening in the morning. Let me click and see if it's opening today. I'm not sure why it's not opening. Just check in your region if it's working or not. So that's with respect to the Swayam portal teachers. That's it. That's it. So these are some of the places from where a teacher can learn under Government of India. CBSE training portal, CIET training portal, Diksha, Swayam, NIPA, NCSL, and then YouTube channels of CBSE and NCRT. Apart from that, there are other training platforms that are international. There is something called as Teach Thought. Wait, let me close these. My system is already dying. Then you have got something called as Edutopia, Common Sense Education, International Society for Technology in Education, EdTech Teacher, and TED-Ed. Now, I would like to go through, like, these are also somewhere, if I have to talk about whatever we are learning today in Super Sunday Workshop, I have prepared a lot of things from these websites. So, four stages of a self-directed learning model. What is SDL, self-directed learning? Similarly, you've got what is cognitive dissonance, then four neurosystems of learning. So these are all some of the topics that keep coming under Teach Thought. Similarly, you have got Edutopia. Okay, let me close this and reload Edutopia. One of my favorite channels for learning really good information about what's happening in the international education system. Edutopia is a fantastic platform, and it's a completely free and open source organization to get a lot of useful details. Their videos are extremely good. If you have seen some of the videos of Super Sunday Workshop and you say that they are really good, trust me, they must be from Edutopia. Common Sense Education has got a very good collection of technology in education kind of topics. You will definitely love it. And there's one very important topic called as digital citizenship. They're primarily known for that. Even CBSE has got the curriculum inspired from them. Then you have got ISTE. ISTE. Let me open that. I hope it gets opened up. IST is International Society for Technology in Education. What they say is every teacher out there should incorporate technology in the class. It's not like technology is only for computer science teachers, not at all. Other subject teachers also should be using computer science. So it's a very different approach. You can see how, up to what extent it's actually applicable for you. Then there is another organization called as edtechteacher.org. And these people also keep talking about a lot of workshops. See, AI in education workshops, and they've got the complete things, and all these things you can actually put the link on Grok or Chat GPT and ask them, give me the summary of this particular website, so that you know what is this actually website known for. So that's pretty much it. And finally, TED. I think most of you know TED Talks, right? So TED, it's opening. So TED Talk is basically exclusively for education. They have a separate channel called as TED Ed. So you can go through some of their videos. Their animations are extremely good, which could be used even in your regular class. If you're following TED Ed, then that's really great. Yeah. That's it. That's it. So these are some of the platforms where the professional development can happen, teachers. And of course, Super Sunday workshops by Super Teacher Edu Reforms Private Limited, where I keep bugging you every Sunday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., talking about various important announcements, especially from CBSE. Yeah. So that brings me to the end of the session today, teachers. Today the session was quite long. I remember we started at like early today 10:05, and so that's the reason I was in a hurry in between. I hope you got an insight on what are national professional standards for teachers up to a certain extent, because we're going to have a detailed training program on that. I hope you got to understand the latest CPD circular on 25 plus 25 hours categorization, which is again getting categorized into core values and ethics, knowledge and practices, and importantly, what is the last part? The professional development. So under these three areas, they've categorized the training program for 25 hours. So all the topics that we choose are given in the form of annex number 1, 2, and 3, which can be accessed from the CBC website. So follow that, follow the circular, and get yourself trained teachers. It'll give you a lot of clarity. And we will have the next session mostly on something related to I'm not remembering, mostly the updates on CBSE of the new curriculum, or else it will be something related to national professional standards for teachers. So that brings me to the end of the session today, teachers. Thank you so much. Great interacting with one and all. If you have any queries, try to put it on the chat. I'll be here for another 2 to 3 minutes trying to answer those. And for all the teachers out there, I would like to very clearly tell that if you're joining for the first time, Super Sunday workshops are designed to just give you a brief insight on some update out there. It's not an exhaustive or complete detailed training program. Whatever we are speaking over here will definitely have a huge extension, and this particular session is just a gateway towards that area, giving you a bird's eye view of what that area is all about. So today we spoke about teacher training programs, and you would have understood that there are a lot more things than you actually thought about. So now it will motivate you to go through the documents and probably learn from it. So the ultimate intention is just to give you an opening, and it is certified as well. So for the certification, I would request all the teachers to complete the reflection form today itself before 12 o'clock in the night. And today's reflection form will not have question answers. This was just an announcement decluttering. You just need to fill up your details. You will get your certificates. If at all, if it has questions, then out of 10, you need to score 7 and above. Only then the certificates are issued. If you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you're not getting the certificate. The teachers who are completing the training programs with 70% marks are the ones who are eligible for the certificates. So we don't need to have a separate appreciation certificate for that. I hope you're able to understand. This is as per the CBSE norms and rules. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, teachers. See you in the next Super Sunday workshop. Until then, Jai Hind. If there are any queries, please put on the chat. Okay. Yeah, there'll be a separate program on leaders for sure. Subject specific, you have to pay. Okay. Charu ma'am, that suppose if you talk about 50 hours of training, it is up to the school's principal to consider those certificates, and to all the other teachers, it is mandatory for you to complete 50 hours. If not, then the principals can take any call. The affiliation of a school is dependent on a document called a SQOF, and SQOF really talks about mandatory CPD hours completion and the skill subject completion. So somewhere your preparation is directly related to a school's affiliation. Think about it. It's very serious. No, Pushpa ma'am, CIET is included. I mean, for the first 25 hours. Sure, Shabana Anjum ma'am. We'll do that. We'll do that. I remember that. That's completely okay, Pushpa ma'am. There's no problem with that. You need to ask that question to the principal. Basically the attendance sheet itself is fine. How you're maintaining those records, it's something that the principal might know about it. In case if there are no certification as such, you can probably upload some pictures or something like that. I do not know. End of the day, the principal has to validate that you have completed it, so that's okay. Centa webinar, are they included? That's a good question. Centa webinars could be included if the principal allows it. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? CIET workshops are completely free, ma'am. Most of the government organized workshops are actually free. Yes, any teacher can join and complete the course. Academic portal is not working, right? Yeah, you're right. Too many people are joining on CBC Academic website today, I guess. Oh, it didn't open yesterday as well. Okay, I'm not sure. Yeah, you can include board duty as well, Suman ma'am. You're right. You could do that. Okay, I'm looking at the queries. Can you please put on the international platforms again? Sure, Shushma ma'am. This is coming only for you. I hope you're able to see it now. Thank you. Sharanya ma'am, thank you so much. Sujata ma'am, thank you. Thank you so much. Nazia ma'am, you can message me. Tamil Puttandu Nalvalthukal. Thank you so much, Sharanya ma'am. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Saleha ma'am. Good to see you after a long time. Thank you. Thank you so much. Just today's session certificate will be issued. Don't worry. The reflection form will be there on the chat, ma'am. No, Ruth Matthew, ma'am. No, no, no. Today's reflection form, you just fill it. Today's reflection form, there were no questions. It's up to you, Sukhdira, ma'am. Yeah, it's not mandatory. Thank you, Nisha, ma'am. Teachers should be treated like political leaders. Okay. Please type NIEPA, Mamta, ma'am. You will be getting NIEPA. Yes, Rajendran sir, you're absolute. CPD depends on principles. Very good, very good. Thank you, Aruna, ma'am. Most of the schools have approved super teacher, sessions. Thank you, Ritu, ma'am. Many times the CPC workshops are not seen. You're right. You're right. Sure, Sakshi, ma'am. That's a good topic. Oh, yes. You're right, Vinumeta, ma'am. That link was not taken away, I guess. And that's okay. You can ignore that as of now. Can have a school approve super? Yeah, they can, Neeraja, ma'am. You need to talk to your principal, and if they find it to be effective, then they can approve it. There'll be a session on classroom management for sure. Thank you, Sunita, ma'am. Good to see you. Can our principals? Yeah, yeah, they can. They can. Let's do it. Yes, Sushma, ma'am. You need to know about the next Super Sunday workshop. You need to come to the events section of superteacher.in website, and you'll see the next topic and register there. Yeah, we'll have a topic related to kindergarten as well, right? Yes, Sunanda, ma'am. No questions. Yes, Suparna, ma'am. It's the in-house training program. We'll do a session on classroom management. NIEPA. That's right. Seshavattaram, right? Done. So let's close for today, teachers. We'll do a credit framework session as well, ma'am, for sure. Already we have done it once last year. You will be able to find that on the YouTube. However, we'll do it again. Yeah, for sure. Great. Thank you so much, teachers. I'll meet you again in the next Super Sunday workshop with another interesting topic. Uh, yeah. Amita ma'am, NPST in the sense? No, going back every Sunday I'm connected. Oh, that's great, Neeraja ma'am. Thank you so much. Yeah, the score will be zero, ma'am. There's no questions. This time the certificate will be allotted everyone who fills up the reflection form. That's it. Let's close for the day, teachers. Spend time with your family. Happy weekend. Happy Sunday. All the best to you next week. Bye, everyone.